Bye, Sam.
Good afternoon. I'm now going to call the Wednesday, April 12th, 2023 meeting of the Norfolk County Commissioners to order on Wednesday, March 29th, 2023. Governor Colleen Healy signed into law Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, an act making appropriations for the fiscal year of 2023, which includes a 2-year extension of the option for public bodies to hold remote meetings by suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, Chapter 30A, Section 20. That action was effective immediately, extending the current option for remote service through March 31st, 2025. So we are remote and in person. Ask everyone to join us in saluting the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'll call the roll. Commissioner Stady.
Present.
Commissioner Collins.
Present.
Commissioner Shea is present. We have a quorum. I'm going to ask for a motion to go into executive session.
Yeah, sure. I'll do that, Joe. Under item 3, I make a motion to go on executive session pursuant to purposes 3 MGLC Chapter 30A, subsection 21A, subsection 3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation. If an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body and the chair so declares. I think it says the exact same thing.
Different purpose.
Okay.
Yes.
And then we have an executive session motion pursuant to purposes 6 MGLC 30A section 21A subsection 6 as well to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property if the chair declares an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body and the chair so declares. Those are the two motions.
I'll second both.
Motion made and seconded to go into executive session. I'll take a roll call vote. Commissioner Stady.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Collins.
Yes.
Commissioner Shea.
And the
It is a
chair,
vote.
and the chair so declares.
He said.
And the chair has so declared.
Terrific.
We will be returning after executive session to complete our regular scheduled meeting. Thank you. I
Really?
told her 1:30. She may be on the horn, but I'm not sure.
All right, thanks.
Okay, good afternoon. We're back on the regular session meeting of the Wednesday, April 12th, 2023 meeting of the Norfolk County Commissioners. Gentlemen, your attention is to item number 4.
Are you all set with these? Right. Mr. Chairman, I'll move approval of the open session meeting minutes of March 29th.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Number 5, please.
Where are we? Sorry. Yep. I'll move approval, Mr. Chairman, of the executive session meeting minutes of April 5th, 23, with the caveat they shall not be released until such time the issue has been resolved. Is that?
That's fine.
I'll second
You
that.
have a question?
Questions?
I do. Commissioner Stady, if I could just go back to the prior motion on the
Oh.
meeting minutes.
Sure.
I'm not sure if you mentioned April
April
5th.
5th. I was- yeah.
What did I say?
You
You
said, no,
did, you covered March 29th.
there are two sets of meetings, so the open session, Richard, so the
Under
first one,
number 4.
in chronological order, it's March 29, 2023, but you have to make a motion for a second one because we didn't just have
I
executive
should have
session
thought
on the
that.
5th.
You're right. I'm
So if you
sorry.
want to do the open session minutes.
Okay, I have, maybe it's I have March 29. I
Right,
move that for approval.
right.
Is there an open session one?
Yeah, there's,
There was one April 5th, too.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have that in my packet. So maybe I don't have that in my packet. I'm sorry. That's why I didn't move it.
tell you what, why don't we?
Was that delivered last week? Is that the one I held?
The one you held was March 29th.
Why don't we table the April 5th so you have a chance to look at it?
Yeah,
I
okay.
appreciate it. That's why I didn't move it.
All right, motion to table the minutes of the April 5th meeting till we have a review.
But for the open session.
Do we have a second to that motion?
Yes, sir. I
All in
second.
favor? Aye. We'll table April 5th. Thank you.
No
If I
problem.
could,
Go ahead.
Now, the executive
can
session.
I see the meeting minutes, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Mine
Executive
says
session?
got 2 days on it.
And 2 dates on it. It started with April.
No, your meeting minutes. I have the 5th in my packet.
Hold on. I mean, that says March 20.
Yeah.
The 5th was done late this morning.
Yes,
Oh.
so
That's
Richard
why I
didn't,
didn't
Richard
check.
didn't access
Very
the
good.
stuff for.
And that explains
And I
this.
didn't check in.
For
That's
next
why
week.
I told you. I one of those mornings, I didn't check in. I'd rather take a look at it, you know.
We'll do April
That's
5th
fine.
next week.
Yeah.
April 5th,
Sounds
next
good.
week.
I'd rather.
Motion was made and seconded.
This my copy?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
okay, great.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're
All
at
right.
number 5 now.
Wait, did we vote?
We already did-
executive
we already
session?
April
did
5th.
We-
All right, we did. Number 6, appointments, I
wait,
have
did we
none.
vote the executive session?
Number
Yeah,
7.
you voted.
Okay, thank you.
Public comment. Each week at our meeting, we allow a session of public comment for anyone on the Zoom or in person that wants to have any public comment. Public comment.
Yeah,
Okay,
all right.
old business. This concludes public comment. If we need to go back, we will. Number 8, old business. I have none. Number 9, personnel matters for consideration.
Mr. Chairman, if you wish, I'll make the motions. First, at Wallaston, recreational notice of contingency employment for Kelly O'Toole of Quincy, Mass. At the Pro Shop for the rate stated effective 4/12/23. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Next
the
one,
registry of
registry of deeds.
Mr. Chairman, motion to the notice of resignation of Eugenia Sanchez of Norwood as the head clerk. At the rate stated effective 4/7/23. So
Second.
moved.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck to you, Deanie. Thank you.
The next
It is a vote.
primarily our resignations at the Norfolk County Agricultural School. I'll make the following as a group. The first is notice of resignation of Ian Davis of Plainville, student worker. The rate stated effective 4/6/23. The second is Avery Freitas of Sharon, student worker. Again, same date, 4/6/23. The third is Aria L. Anderson of Foxborough, student worker. The rate stated effective 4/6/23. The next one is Nicole A. Doucette of Framingham as a student summer camp at the rate stated effective 4/6/23. Notice of resignation of Anna Balzano of Boston as a student summer camp, and that's the rate stated effective 4/6/23. And I believe there's one more, resignation for Emily Bassett of Brockton as a student summer camp worker at the rate stated effective 4/6/23. All moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Motion made and seconded on 6 resignations of student workers at
Can't be.
Norfolk Aggie and 1 all summer camp, whatever, student workers. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Thank you very much. This concludes the personnel matter.
There's one more that says vacation.
One more,
leave.
which I'm going to ask for our personnel manager, Michelle Lavadini, to come in and advise us. As you know, in executive session, I'm not free to say what was done, but this has been discussed with our Labor Council. There is a memo. Do we all have it?
Yep.
Here.
Yes, sir. Yep.
I'll synopsize it and then I'm going to be open to it if we can. I'd like to take care of this matter today because 2 reasons. It's one of them's got a financial part to it. And the other is that we're moving towards a new handbook.
All right.
And the old one was 1987. So we hope to, and we're committed to, in 2023, getting the new handbook written. And this issue was in the old handbook, and it's a tenant which that we need to decide whether we're going to go forward with it or not. But we need to take care of 2 cases. Basically, it deals with vacation leave and other benefits that people get if they had prior public service with the Commonwealth or subdivision. We've hired some individuals over the last several years that had prior service. Some brought to our attention, some did not. One in particular, who's employee number 1, has over 13 years of service. Well, she has more than that. Huh?
Employee number 1 has 26 years with the Commonwealth.
26 years with the Commonwealth. She never was informed of this. She came here, has been working about 13 with us.
That's employee number 2 that you're talking about.
Actually, that's employee number 2.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, number 1 is kind of easy. Let's go to number 2. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
She came from the city of Framingham.
Yeah.
Works in school department, came to our school department. Now she's after 26 years, informed us she's going to be gone July 1st. We're all familiar with her, a very good employee.
Mhm.
She carried, she never knew the prior service. It came to her attention this year, and she came in and see Michelle, and Michelle may have even been the person that mentioned it to her. Be as it may, that's fine, because it was in the old book, and it's also in the new book, but we haven't approved the new book yet. So I think we have an issue, we have an obligation here, and I'd like to talk about it. Employee number one we'll get to, far less service, not that he doesn't have a lot of service, he does, but he brought it to our attention after he was here 1 year, so when we talk about 1 week. So I'd like to see what we can do about getting this up and out, and you can question Michelle and Annie if you have any questions.
So employee number two, since we brought that up for us, this employee, we have all documentation that this person does have the time with the Commonwealth. We reviewed this with legal counsel. Legal counsel advised us last week on the steps to take going forward. So in accordance with the recommendation from legal counsel, and with your approval, we'd like to move forward with this individual getting the time that is stated in this note. Does anyone have any questions?
No, it's well written, and
Yeah,
legal
I read
counsel spoke to us, and
Mhm.
everything's pretty much explained.
Mhm.
I just want
Okay.
to make sure we need that. Is there a certain correct motion to make, or?
I don't know, I'm gonna ask for, I think it'd probably be the, you know, the person be allowed, et cetera, based on, we got the city of Framingham's director of finance writing us a letter saying,
Yeah.
Mhm.
affirming her years of service, 1 to 13, and she's been here from 13 on to us.
Mhm.
I don't. I think the last page is the
Buyout.
the buyout figure. It is $30,000.
Does that go on this fiscal year budget, or does it go, it can't go on next year's, right? So
The
we-
superintendent of the department informed me that the money is in this current budget.
In this
They
budget
confirmed
They
it.
put
yeah.
it in,
for
yeah.
the 23,
That's
right?
correct.
Like fiscal 23?
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Okay,
Yes.
that's all I was wondering about.
Yeah, I
And I think
confirmed
she's
that.
leaving right at
Right,
the cusp.
yeah, okay. The other question, I don't know if this is there any discussion with said employee to continue on until, as a transition, or is it basically she's leaving July 1?
That would be the superintendent to answer. I can't answer that
Okay.
question.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay, appropriate. All right, we'll check on that. Of
I noticed he's carrying it in next year's budget, of course, and he reduced
Yeah.
his salary to
course, don't forget, we
a
don't,
level entry.
as a board, we don't meet July and August, so maybe that's what he's thinking. He can get somebody on board, and whatever, right? But, all right, okay,
We'll get him. We'll
I can
have a-
certainly
we'll have
discuss
that
it with him.
conversation with him.
I'm good. I mean,
Would you
I'm
like
fine
me to
with this.
review that with the superintendent and get back to you on that next week?
I'll go for the chair, if the chair's pleasure. I was just thinking if there's a,
Well, we're certainly
a
gonna work with the
transition or,
superintendent, and,
you know.
if I'm relieved that he budgeted for it.
Right.
Because we hate these unseen costs.
right, which is good.
No, I think we can go forward today.
Okay.
There's a bigger question here, though, which I'll discuss after we do number one. Any other questions about
Oh, good,
number two?
I'm good,
And there is a written 3-page memo from Michelle,
right.
Right,
and it outlines it pretty
Right.
well.
right. I thought it'd be good to put it all together, so just in case
But I'm
anyone.
saying, I want to be, all right, if you want to move on this, is there a particular language that we must state as part of our motion?
Michelle did not share that with us.
Yeah, I
that
thought she
there's
was,
a
I
certain
thought she
amount-
was going to prepare a motion. She's giving a legal
No.
opinion, which is
Mhm.
great. Totally professional. What is our motion to grant then to employee 2? Maybe you want to make the motion, or do you want to pick up number 1? How do you want to do it, Joe?
Well, we just discussed employee number 2, so I would suggest making, it's to you, Chairman, but I would recommend making a motion on employee number 2 and.
I'd like to take care of number two before we go.
All right, let's do this. I'll try it.
Employee number
Right.
2
I'll
on,
try it. Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we grant the vacation buyback as suggested and as recommended by our HR director in concurrence with legal counsel for the set amount and at the rate stated based upon the information presented today.
Second.
motion made and seconded. Any other discussion on this vacation buyback? employee number 2 at the school. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It is a
How's
grant.
that?
Number 1.
Okay.
Not the same issue exactly. We have an employee who joined us 20 months ago in June of 21, June 21 of 21. I'm looking at a memo here from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Human Resource Specialists, the Department of State Police, stating that service history with the Commonwealth states that it began service in the Commonwealth on July 25th, 1989. Occupied full-time management positions with agencies under the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security. From 99 to 21 when it came to us, from 89 to 99 was the city of Boston as a budget analyst. He did not experience any breaks in service during his tenure. Accordingly, he earned 5 weeks of vacation prior to leaving the state for 20 years of service. This came to our attention also probably through Michelle this year, but the good news is we're only in year 1 of this, and we're looking at adding 1 week's vacation. And with one other employee that we took care of already. And then there is 1 or 2 others that we're working with. Is that correct?
There's a few more. I don't have all the paperwork on the others, so
Okay,
I didn't
and
bring
we'll
them for
deal
you.
on them today. So I'd like to take care of employee number 1, then I have a magic question for us.
So again, to clarify for the record, this is your recommendation to be granted and council as well. After
Mhm.
reviewing the personal bylaw and reviewing the information.
Vacation of 1, correct.
I would concur.
Yes, your motion.
I'll move a motion of approval of the request for the additional week as recommended by our HR director and also based upon our opinion from legal counsel on this matter, make it effective this date.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further questions on employee number 1? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that is going to be granted.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put this on today, but Michelle and I talked earlier today where the baby's about to be born on the new personnel policy. This option is still in there. Because we're still in a review
Mhm.
and we're sending it out to department heads to review, but we're not going to take a vote. But I'd like you to know that we're going to put it in front of you, whether we think we want to keep it or not, and then we'll just stick to it from here on in.
Be good to have discussion on that, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, we definitely got to have a
Appropriate time,
discussion.
yeah.
And
But
we're a
we're-
little more time, but I don't want to print the booklet within there without talking
Right.
about it.
No,
And I
thank
don't
you.
want to, and if we're going to take it out, we got to take it out.
But both these cases were based upon the book we currently have.
Yes, and we're going to look at
And-
those too.
Yeah,
And they're,
right.
full-time, you know,
No
they're
problem.
long-time employees. But
Do you know what's gonna happen? Is that something we'll do during the summer? You say you're gonna,
Well,
what's, is our
Very
goal?
close, I'm
Are
very
we clo-
close.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
That right?
Mhm.
Wow,
looks good.
good, okay.
The chairman was in my office earlier today and I just showed him a sample of it. I'm still working on fine tuning it, but I'm hoping to have it to you within a few weeks.
Wow,
I don't know what the plan is, if we're going to send it to legal counsel first and then send it to the departments and then send it to the commissioners. I have to talk more with the county director on what that process will look like.
right, right.
But it's going to be in the near future.
Good, great,
Nice job.
wonderful, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, do we need
So
any other discussion while we have
I think that takes care of that.
Michelle captured? Okay, thank you, Michelle.
Chairman, I just want to remind you that someone has requested to speak during public comment at 1:45 today.
Oh,
Oh, it's 1:45.
I thought I had one. Okay, we'll get to
spoke
it.
earlier? Okay,
I thought it was
Thank you.
1:30. Okay,
Thank you.
I'll do one other item and then we'll go to that.
okay.
If that,
Before we do that, Judge, Michelle,
Mhm.
I just want to thank you. So I know Michelle's been working on many of the HR issues, including the personnel handbook, and that involves early hours and late hours and weekend hours, and we want to thank you for that.
Thank you, appreciate that.
okay, we look forward
Mike,
to
have
a
a seat
finished
back.
product.
all right. All right,
Okay,
want to move the warrant list?
yes, why don't we do the payroll and expense warrants on item number 10?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, due to the time, if I could ask you to take item number 13 out of order, as you had a bid opening scheduled for 1:30.
Oh,
Okay, we're gonna do that and then we'll go back we'll go back to public comment. If we have no objections, we're gonna go to number 13. We have a bid opening at 1:30 and it's 1:40, so we better get to it. For the gymnasium painting at the Norfolk County Agricultural School. Nancy Rockwell, procurement specialist, purchasing agent. Hi, Nance.
How are you?
Good. I'm sorry I'm late, but
That's
we're
okay.
we're jumping around. But we'll get.
These are sealed quotes for the painting of the gymnasium at the agricultural high school. First, I have JB Cleaning and Painting Services out of Marlboro, Mass. They bid $82,000. MG Painting Contractors out of Blackstone, Mass. They bid $40,700. Backhoe Contracting out of Blackstone, Mass. They bid $24,700.
All over the place.
LL Cleaning out of Centerville, Mass. $55,000. Fox Painting Company out of Arlington, Mass. $30,000. In Painting Incorporated out of North Andover, Mass.
Andover.
North Andover. They bid $44,000.
How many do you have?
Six
That's amazing.
or seven. Yes.
Usually lucky we get one or two. A lot of paintings out there, huh?
ATE Painting out of Danvers. God bless. They bid $42,682. That is the loss of it. Quotes.
Okay, I have a couple of questions. I assume, no, I shouldn't assume, this work is done in the summer.
Yes, scheduled to begin
Based on what-
at the end of the school year.
Okay. Do we specify what we want? Do we talk about paint or quality? of
Oh,
paint?
yes,
Everything's,
everything's
and
specified.
you're, we've done this before,
Yes,
maybe not for the gymnasium, but other places.
yes.
Okay, board members, what's your pleasure? We probably should take it.
Under advisement.
So for you, do we have any experience with any of those painters?
No.
None. Wow. 'Cause I didn't write them all down, but there was a low of 20 and a high, what was the highest one?
Go low of 24 to 87.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing range.
That makes me think of the dome that we went through for 2 years.
Yeah.
far more money, but you know.
They're not really painting the floor, sealing it. Is that what they're actually doing? You seal the gym
Yeah,
floors.
but-
That basically, is that what it is?
Yeah,
Or-
then there's some painting and repair work.
There is, oh, okay, all right. So we made a motion to the table?
Right.
Take it under advisement, I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to take the awarding of the contract for the painting of the gymnasium at Norfolk Aggie under advisement till further notice.
Amazing.
All in favor?
All right,
Thank you,
Thank you.
Nancy. Now, that concludes the matter of
is there a contract award?
the
Is this-
bid. We're not
Sign.
giving any contracts today, are we?
I was tentatively put in the notice to proceed for the sign
All
installation,
right,
but I haven't received the bond yet, so
okay,
that will be holding off
Maybe
until
next
next
week.
week.
okay, great, thanks, man.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
Okay, if you have no objections, I'd like to go back to number 7, public comment. We have someone who asked to come over and participate. This is a full-time regular employee. I think you know her, so. Linda Austin from the registry. I'm gonna have her-
Hi, Linda. Hello.
Good afternoon, Linda. Have a seat.
Oh,
However
thank
wanna do
you.
this.
I appreciate that you would oblige me. Sorry to miss a little earlier. A few weeks ago, I met with the Register of Deeds and shared some exciting news with him that I had made the decision to tender my resignation. And I will retire from this institution and I will work in a different way.
Hmm.
And that different way is providing customer service to a new customer I have, and she is our 6-month-old granddaughter.
Oh,
Congratulations.
there you go.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And I shared also with the register that I was born to provide customer service. And I've done that my entire career, which has been measured in a very linear way. And the last 7 years and 4 months, I've done that across the street at the Registry of Deeds. And we do a good job providing, we do an excellent job providing that customer service, actually. And some of our customers say so when they belly up to the counter. It's been a privilege to be able to do that. It's been all about relationships for me these past 7 years, not only with customers, but with my coworkers and our management team. And now I have an opportunity to do that in a different way. And I've been grateful to be able to be before you in the past, negotiating contracts and other reasons. And when I got up this morning and there was a congrats sign spelled out in the kitchen that our daughter had assembled very late last night, I chuckled. She wrote me a beautiful note. And then my husband came into the kitchen and we were connecting for the first time. And he said, "How many years has it been, Linda?" I said, 7 years, 4 months. And he said, "No, I meant our anniversary because it's our anniversary today." But my departure from the registry has occupied a lot of space in my brain. Again, I'm thankful for the opportunity. So many of my fellow employees have dared greatly to step up and negotiate contracts and put themselves out there. And our union reps through the years have stepped forward, and I'm thankful for their efforts. And I will bid you a fond farewell until we meet again.
Thank you, Linda.
I mean, before you go,
Good luck.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman, I had the pleasure on more than one occasion of dealing with this wonderful person in the registry, and she was always very, very thoughtful, very considerate, and really went out of her way to make sure that anything I maybe had followed up on the filing was done the right way, and made sure that on behalf of my clients, it was done the right way. So she's always been a thorough professional, always a thorough
Thank you.
professional, regardless of when, where, or when I went over there. And secondly, as a father and a grandfather, I can't think of any greater job to do. If you're willing to extend that service we're looking, help my
Okay.
daughter, all right? So let me know. My daughter's in dire need, but that's, I wish you the best and God bless you.
Thank
It's
you.
great.
Thanks. It really is a privilege to be able to do that.
When is your last day, or is today your last day?
It is today.
Oh,
Wow.
The
Wow.
retirement is effective the 14th on Friday,
Goodness,
and
Well, we wish you well, but,
yeah.
thank you.
um,
Maybe I'll sit for God sometimes, Charlie.
well, it's all right, we'll do that.
Okay.
And, you know, it's always the good news we like to hear. Sometimes everything isn't good, but certainly, your attitude is excellent, and I think it's a reflection of who you are, so. I'm sure before you came to the Registry of Deeds, you worked in other public, not public necessarily, but service positions, working with the public.
I have commissioner, in fact, although it's only 7 years, 4 months here, I go out with 23 years
Because you worked
worth of service,
the town of Holbrook.
John Hope.
Yeah, that's right.
God bless the town of Holbrook.
Yeah.
Maybe you should go back. I keep talking to the new manager and he tells me he's looking for help.
Well,
Greg Canley's looking for help. But
maybe.
I think if you made your decision,
Yeah.
Thanks.
God bless you, because
I have.
it's never easy, but
Yeah.
And to be able
very positive.
to participate in her upbringing,
Oh, yeah,
especially.
That's fantastic. That's great.
it's exciting.
Okay,
That's
thank you.
more-
All right,
again.
take care.
Thank you, Linda.
Here.
All the best.
Okay,
Thank you.
All the best.
Very nice, thank you.
Thanks.
And happy anniversary.
Wow.
Number 10, payroll and expense warrants for approval, Commissioner Stady.
Oh, yes. Mr. Chairman, we have several here. First one, 23-41, I move approval of the payroll of the county in the amount of $145,277.74. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye. Next,
It is a
Mr.
vote,
Chairman,
next.
04-0223, the expense of the county. I move approval of $37,714.45. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
Third, Mr. Chairman, 23-10, I move approval of the expense of the school, the amount of $129,069.15. So moved.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, all in favor? Aye, it is a vote.
The next group are opera awards. 2 are going to Braintree, 2 to Quincy. So they all have the same number. 23-41, move approval for the town of Braintree to receive $359,797.30. So moved.
Second.
Motion made, second, all in favor?
They're still going.
Okay. Next is again for the town of Braintree, opera award in the amount, I move approval of the amount, $415,627.81. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Next.
And the next two are to conclude for Quincy, 23-41, opera award to the city of Quincy. First one is $474,972.46. So moved.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
It is
And
a
the
vote.
final one, Mr. Chairman, 23-41 for the city of Quincy and opera award in the amount of $3,829,500. So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
Well, that concludes the,
Payroll and expense warrants. Let's do 11 and 12 together. A report on the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 and discussion of the aforementioned and approved warrants for Quincy and Braintree. Director Cronin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As Commissioner Stady just mentioned, Norfolk County just signed off on $5,079,893 in new awards to 4 awards to 2 communities, including Braintree and Quincy, if faded. These totals now add to the previous awards. Norfolk County is now awarded $63.5 million of its total $137 million grant. Excuse me. Just by way of administrative updates, we were recently contacted by our primary auditor, Clifton Larson Allen, looking for revisitation of rates. Clifton Larson Allen, as you know, is on the state contract. They wanted us to mirror the rates that had went into effect with the state last year. After discussions with the other counties and receiving a kind of consensus around what the rates would be for all of us, Treasurer O'Brien and I agreed that the rate increase would go into effect starting July 1st for a 3% increase, which we think is pretty reasonable under the circumstances of this contract. And it's well within the boundaries of our administrative costs. Other than that, I have a series of updates under my county director's updates, but I just wanted to underline one point that when you do meet in late May with the multi-county commissioner organization, there'll likely be some more discussions about the future of ARPA and where things are trending over the next 6 to 12 months. One item that I specifically asked Clifton Larson to consider as part of their contractual obligation is as the counties reach the end point within the next 18 months, that I'd like to see a combined county report generated by Clifton Larson that highlights the use of these funds, the success of county governments in managing these grants to the benefit of all the communities, and really bringing home a deliverable or marketing tool that can be used by the counties across Massachusetts to display our excellence in handling this resource over the last several years. So look forward to that in the next 18 months or so. It's down the road, but it was part of our discussions with their new contract. So that's all I have at this time. If you'd like, I can give some brief updates on what the grant details were the Commissioner stated you just read. You have a
I
question?
have a question. This increase is for
Administrative auditing purposes
the
only.
primary audit or
Correct.
both audit?
Nope, just Clifton Larson,
Okay,
because they're the ones who had the increase through the state. Okay.
okay.
So the first grant was for the city of Quincy, $3.8 million. This particular grant is in advance for premium pay relative to the city of Quincy's recall to its workforce back to June 29th, 2020. The particular expense was approved by our auditors. I went through every single payroll associated with this. There was some back and forth, but they cleaned it up, and ultimately through this action, the county is able to reimburse or provide the city of Quincy with a resource of $3.8 million for the premium pay of its employees during the pandemic. The second one was also to the city of Quincy. Excuse me. This was a public health reimbursement. And this is to provide HVAC ventilation improvements to various health welfare spaces in city of Quincy public buildings. It's under the category of preventing the spread of COVID virus in congregate settings. It again is a reimbursement. Third was to the town of Braintree. This was the $359,000 item Commissioner Stady read. This also is a reimbursement under the public health header for the Braintree Schools mental health services. And the last one was $415,000 to the town of Braintree. It also is a reimbursement under the Braintree Public Schools educational disparities. They described the COVID-19 pandemic resulted in the widespread closure of schools across the nation. While many school districts reopened to in-person instruction, the shift was not immediate or without consequences. Children who received virtual only or combined remote in-person instruction were more likely to report experiencing negative mental and physical health outcomes than children who received in-person instruction. Under this request, addressing the impact of lost instructional time and or learning loss is an enumerated eligible use. When providing services to address lost instructional time, recipients may presume that any K through 12 student who lost access to in-person instruction for a significant period of time has been impacted by the pandemic and is thus eligible for responsive services. I mentioned that's well over $5 million. That's my update for ARPA this week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Sure. Any questions?
two quick ones if I could. Does that top off Braintree or is there still some more money left?
I believe they still have capacity, and Quincy does as well.
Okay, great. On Quincy, the amount of money we voted today, was that included in yesterday's?
Yes, it was.
Okay. When you get a chance, can you give me a breakout of the rest? So I didn't know where that was back there. There was 9 million. We're giving them 3 million.
Oh,
And they
for
were-
all the prior awards?
Right.
Sure.
I don't think
Quincy?
I have that. Yeah. When you get a
Absolutely.
chance.
It's on the website, but I'll
Is it?
cut and
Okay.
paste and send it to
When
you.
you get a chance, that's all.
Yep, no
Thank you.
problem.
Thanks. It's good. Very good.
Okay, this concludes the opera awards for today. We're gonna go to number 14. Contract award. We had tentatively
Right.
wanted to do the notice to proceed on the various new signage at the county district courts. Report from Nancy Rockwell is that she needs another week or two to get.
I think I have it.
So we'll
That's,
carry that, without objection, we'll carry that to next week.
Yep.
Perfect, okay.
Move the table, I guess.
Table
Or
item
just-
number 14, all in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Number 15, request that the Norfolk County Commissioners approve and sign the Town of Medway project request for the County Engineering Department to perform a topographical detail survey along a half-mile section of Oakland Street from Main Street, which is Route 109, to 76 Oakland Street. Topographic detail survey will be used for the design of a sidewalk and drainage improvements. I have the request here from the town of Medway.
Right.
Michael Boynton, and all the paperwork is here. We have Patrick. How's this look, Patrick?
Good, commissioners. How you doing this afternoon?
Good thing.
I talked to Nolan Lynch, the town of Medway's highway superintendent, and reviewed the project with the guys in the department. It's something that's in our wheelhouse. And I think they put a date of April 7th, 23, but what we had actually discussed was like later in next fall into the winter for a due date.
Okay,
So
Right, they did
we
say
can
that.
meet the timeline. Yeah, I can't do it in a day.
Yes, it's a completion 4/7.
yeah,
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, so.
You need a vote on this?
yes,
or-
we need a vote to
Yeah.
proceed and
Yeah.
to instruct our engineer to do
Okay.
this work for the town of Medway.
Right. I move
Michael
approval
White.
of the request of the town of Medway for the services of the Norfolk County Engineering Department to perform a topographical detail survey along a half-mile section of Oakland Street from Main Street to Oakland Street. Topographical detail survey will be used for the design of sidewalk and drainage improvements.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you, commissioners. Take care.
Do we need to
Yes, sir.
sign one of these?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, please.
I'll sign the bottom. Today's the-
It's 12.
Okay, wow, time's flying. Jeez. All right, we go, Pete. Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, we're gonna move right along here. In your packet also is a request from the Irish Pastoral Center, Father Dan Finn, for the civic rate for a golf tournament to benefit the Irish Pastoral Center in Canton. They're frequent flyers with us. I know we've done it the last few years. The date has been assigned by Dana Smith, our pro. And they're celebrating 35 years in the golf tournament.
You're good. I'll move approval of the request of the Irish Pastoral Center, IPC, celebrating the 35th year, to use the President's Golf Course for an annual tournament and at a discounted rate. That's
Thank you.
requested.
Second.
Motion made, second, and all in favor? Oh,
Aye.
Director Crowe.
Just a point of order, the request did not include a specific date, so your motion ought to include that, the date be coordinated with the golf course manager.
Correct. I know we did
Yeah,
this last year.
I'll make that
because
from the
They
motion.
came in to see me and then we
Right.
put it on the agenda. I remember I got this confused with the group in Canton, Dick. This is not the group in Canton. This is the Irish
No,
Pastoral
this is-
Center in
this is- yeah.
Dorchester.
I
I'm
thought so
sorry.
too.
I made the same mistake last
Yes, I was
year.
listening and I go, it's not Irish cultural, it's Irish pastoral, but that's
Correct.
okay.
That's all right.
That's all right.
I'll second the motion. as
We work with
amended.
both of them. Motion made and seconded to extend the civic rate to the Irish Pastoral Center for a fundraiser at the Norfolk County
Yeah.
Residential Golf Course.
There you go.
To be determined. All in favor?
All right,
It is good.
okay.
There's another proclamation in here for National Therapy Animal Day in Norfolk County on April 30th. Do I have that? I can't find
I
it.
just handed
You
you.
gave it to
You'll
Dick.
make a
all right.
motion.
Go ahead, Richard.
Yes, sir, with pleasure. Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I'll move approval of the following declaration. Proclamation of National Therapy Animal Day in the county for April 20.
30th.
Is it April-
This says 30th, that might say
Uh-oh.
20th.
This says April 20.
Okay, so.
What day do we want to
Okay.
take? 20?
All right, April 20th, all right.
Should go April
Sure.
20. Oh, actually, wait a minute. It's a typo. I'm not trying to cause trouble. It goes on
All
to
right.
say, whereas April 30th today.
Go with the 30th.
I'm gonna go 30. All right. So
I'll speak to the Scrivener about the
there you
error.
go.
Mhm.
So we're gonna make it the 30th.
So,
All right.
so perhaps we make it a month, just to be safe.
All right, all right.
There you go.
Proclamation for the National Therapy Animal Day in Norfolk County in April
April. Yeah, in April.
2023.
We'll pick it. Whereas there are thousands of pet partners, therapy animal teams serving in communities across the United States, and whereas Pet Partners has designated April 30 as National Therapy Animal Day, and whereas Pet Partners therapy animal teams in the county play an essential role in improving human health and well-being through the human-animal bond. Whereas Pet Partners therapy animal teams make millions of visits per year in settings such as hospitals, nursing homes, schools, and hospice. And whereas Pet Partners therapy animal teams interact with a variety of people in our community, including veterans, seniors, and patients, and students facing literacy challenges, and those approaching end of life. And whereas these exceptional therapy animals who partner with their human companions bring comfort and healing to those in need, now therefore, we, the Norfolk County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim April 30, 2023 as National Therapy Animal Day in the County of Norfolk. We encourage our citizens to celebrate our therapy animals and our human handlers. Further, we publicly salute the service of therapy animal teams in our community and in communities across the nation. Proclaim this day by Joseph Shea, Chairman, Peter Collins, Commissioner, and myself as Commissioner. And there you go. So moved, I guess.
Motion made and seconded to designate April 30th National Therapy Animal Day in Norfolk County. All in favor?
Aye.
It is approved. Good luck. Thank you.
Beautiful.
18, also in your packet, February trial balances dated 2/28/23.
If I can say so,
I'm sorry.
so this has to be changed because it says two different dates on it. So you have my permission to use my stamp when it's corrected.
Thank you.
Right.
Is that okay? Okay.
That's true.
I didn't notice the date.
There you go.
Okay, next is the February trial balances dated 2/28/23 packet. Pretty straightforward. We have Joe DeLoria on if there's any questions. We need to accept it.
It appears the balance is $110,123,728.29.
Correct.
Yeah.
Everything's in its right place, correct?
It is.
Okay. Any other questions?
Uh,
We need a vote to accept
Okay, I'll move
commissioners.
acceptance, Mr. Chairman, of the trial balance. This is for 2/28/23. In the amount of $110,123,728.29.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to accept the February trial balances as presented on 2/28/23. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Next item, report of the county director.
Mr. Chairman, a few items. Just a reminder, the advisory board for Norfolk County will be meeting at 6 o'clock this evening at the Norfolk County Agricultural High School in Walpole, and the finance committee will precede them at 5 o'clock. Last week, I met with representatives from the trial court to discuss the transition of services effective July 1st. As you may know, we expect to pass papers with the state as of June 30th, which will effectively remove Quincy District Court from the schedule of costs / lease agreement with the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth has expressed a strong interest in retaining our services on site during the time period that they will use to transition out of that space to their next space. They don't have any definitive dates of when they will be moving out to prepare for the new Justice Center construction. So at this point, we are isolating FY24, the next fiscal year. And we will be agreeing under terms of a Commonwealth standard contract form with a related scope of work. I've communicated with our facilities manager and his staff that effectively the 5 individuals that work there will continue to work there. We will continue to be reimbursed on a monthly basis by the Commonwealth, periodic anyways, monthly, possibly periodic, for their services, as well as other related costs, the Commonwealth does desire for the county to continue using our service contracts for various things such as elevator maintenance and things like that, which I don't object to. The main risk, and the Commonwealth acknowledges this in the trial courts, is that when it comes to large capital expenses, they're responsible for them as of July 1st. Anything that goes wrong with the building, its roof, its infrastructure, its HVAC, they are responsible for. So we'll be working on the details over the next couple of months and hope to have something in place, again, effective July 1.
Do you happen, I'm sorry, do you happen to know if DCAM has secured a place so that, like, I mean, it looks like for the next year, the Quincy quote will still be there with people working, right?
That's right.
From what you wrote to us. But then after that, in 24, things are gonna change. So have they got a place to go yet?
They do not.
Okay, but let's assume they did, right? Is it my understanding that the people who work for the county will continue to work for DCAM in some other building and provide services at that other building, or is that too far ahead?
I think you threw me with a term
Okay,
there.
so
The
we're,
people that work in Quincy for us,
right, like,
when they closed Quincy, we're gonna make plans for them to slide into vacancies here on our side. The goal is no layoffs.
okay, so if DCAM rents a building in Quincy, some other building, to operate the Quincy court.
While
until
they're
it was
building
finished,
the new.
While they're building it, will our people be working
Yes.
in that new building? that
Yes,
other
we
building?
expect
That's what I'm saying.
our workers will be on site servicing that building as long as there are occupants.
So technically, to be realistic, the way there's a shortage of supplies and stuff to get materials, we could have our people working through fiscal 25. Not just this,
Possible.
right?
We talked
You know what
about
I'm
that. We're secure thinking that the way they're gonna pulse their RFR for space, they know that Quincy's going to be a difficult location to find 30 to 50,000 square feet.
Mhm.
And they expect that there may be multiple rounds of RFRs to find their preferred location.
Mhm.
And so when I spoke to them, again, this is all broadly speaking because nobody's bid
Totally
anything,
understand. Yep.
that they do expect some of this to possibly go into 2024 before they finally identify a place to go, air quotes.
Mhm.
When that location is found, they now have to begin negotiations for the build out.
Mhm.
Because wherever they go is going to require specialized needs, tenant improvements and so forth. As you know, that's a specialized function with their lockup and
Right.
prisoner holding. So
Right, right.
as a result, they do expect there'll be some time associated with that build out that will take them well into 24,
Yeah.
possibly into FY 25. But we just talked right now about securing a contract that can have the flexibility
Mhm.
to assign a time frame known to us.
Mhm.
And then as we get to the end of fiscal year 25, Commissioner, we'll assess, are we looking at a month to month arrangement, a
Mhm.
quarterly, a calendar year? I told them that our goal, through you, was to cooperate fully with their needs and their requirements. I said that the county is considered a very friendly partner here. We're not looking to in any way make it difficult
Mhm.
for them in their task because they've already got a tall task ahead of them.
Right.
So great meeting, very good folks to work with. I've already informed, as I said, John and his staff. We'll do our best to communicate things as we know them. But right now, we're hoping status quo in terms of the user experience.
Yeah.
But the good news is we'll be receiving revenue as of July 1st instead of waiting 18 months.
Right, which is good.
The red flag here, and I think Phil knows it, I know it, and all the fiscal staff know it. As of July 1, the reimbursement for Quincy dies, and we should not expect the $750,000 benefit for operating that property in 18 months. It's going to fall off of our schedule of costs. That's because we're 18 months in arrears on the reimbursement from the state.
Say that again? I said,
So as of July 1,
they're gonna continue to use our services.
right, but we're going to get reimbursed on a periodic basis for that. We
Okay,
are no longer going to become participant in their least schedule of costs. We
okay.
get trial court reimbursements in arrears 18 months.
Okay.
We're falling off of that as of
Okay.
July.
Okay, that's what you were
So the impact will be felt in 18 months.
okay.
That's the,
And what I was saying is maybe though, and maybe I'm wrong, that schedule could be pushed back. It might take a little longer.
right, and in that case, we're just getting cash now
Right.
on a period.
What are they estimating for build up on that? A year and a half to build it? A year?
For which one?
To build
The
the court.
temporary one or the real
No,
one?
the brand new.
3
court.
years.
3 year. Okay.
That's what DK informed us.
Okay.
And the other thing, I just, I stepped back and I looked earlier this week at the commissioner's schedule over the next month or two. You've got a very busy schedule, and I just wanted to go through those dates right now so that they're all kind of in focus. Starting, of course, next week, April 19th, you have, as Commissioner Shea indicated, a commissioners meeting at 2 o'clock in Quincy, followed by 4 o'clock for your hearing on the Quincy District Court.
Right.
I'm hoping on that same day to have the opioid grants ready for your approval. This would go to the community coalition members in Norfolk County that you've collaborated with District Attorney Marcy's office on. So we'll hopefully have those award letters for you next week. And I believe District Attorney Marcy plans to go to the hearing, but I'll alert him that your meeting may have some business that may interest him at 2 o'clock. In the next 2 weeks, I intend to notify Norfolk County employees and of course through the commissioners that our intranet is active and alert with the recent ratification of the Registry of Deeds contract that completes our work to have 3 contracts as of tonight in the advisory board's vote that we can now post on the internet and make available to all employees. We'll start loading a lot of content into this intranet space for employee use, and that will include all kinds of policies and procedures as they emerge. On May 3rd, just a reminder, that is Law Day at Quincy District Court. I believe you're all invited to attend the simultaneous 100th birthday party for former Attorney General Francis Bellotti. On May 17th, you have an advisory board meeting and we're planning Wollaston. We haven't identified the exact time, but prior to the advisory board meeting, likely in the afternoon, there'll be a playground dedication over at Wollaston Recreational Facility.
Great.
In your packet, you should have received the spring newsletter from the RSVP program. Robert Pearson has alerted me that there's also an event coming up on May 18th here in Dedham at the VFW. It's a pinning ceremony for RSVP volunteers. If you're interested in going, I would encourage you to reach out to Robert and let him know of your plans. And then again on May 24th, just circling back, that's the date of your multi-county meeting down in Barnstable, and details on that will follow. So as you can see over the next month or so, there's a lot packed in. I just wanted everybody to be aware of the various dates. If anything changes, I'll be sure to let you all know. That is all I have at this time.
Have we determined yet whether or not we're going to meet as a commission on the 24th and then head down? Or if we're going to meet out of county? Or what's
We
the
have not-
status on that?
We have not determined.
We got to flag that. Okay. The other thing is on Law Day, the time of the ceremony could make it difficult to be back here in time for 1 o'clock.
Mm.
So we should consider either a change of time or something different.
That's the 3rd, right?
Yeah, May 3rd.
We might have to do it in Quincy again.
Yeah, I know.
Mhm. Good.
Well, you don't have to, but Isn't it?
Joe won't mind.
that's-
Well, we'll see how it goes. I mean, this is
I just-
a first,
I
not a
think that-
first. I mean, they may have done it in the past, but the law permits it and we're gonna do it.
I think it's a Law Day at 10, I
Right.
think.
I know.
By the time you have ceremony and speeches, I went last year to Denver. It's a very lengthy day. It's not like you're in and out. So, I mean, you could come back here at 1, unless you want to push the meeting back to 2 or have a meeting in Quincy earlier. Or you can't do it earlier, could you?
You can do it anytime you want.
No, you could. You
Okay.
showed us all those different rooms. We could have one of those other chambers.
Well, I'm going in to see Clerk Tobin tomorrow. I mean, Monday. John McGowan and his people, be doing some prep that we do all the time.
Yeah.
They didn't have Law Day for the last couple of years due to Corona, but it's back in a big way, but they do have a big one.
Now, are there 2 Law Days? I have to share this with you. Because I got something from the Bar Association that said that Law Day is May 1st. So I want to know which one.
I believe there are 2.
If there are 2, okay.
But
So
Quincy, right,
I plan to go to the Law Day in Dedham, and obviously,
that's the
if
first.
you, but there's also one in Quincy now too, right? Okay, amazing. Yeah, if I could share quickly, I did present the Joppa check, Mr. Chairman, to the Canton Board. They were very, very pleased, very happy, and obviously gave great appreciation to all of us. And again, I thought that was an enjoyable day in Quincy with the mayor and Congressman Lynch, who was a solid delegate to our all the constituents here. So great day yesterday for us.
Okay,
That's all I had.
number 20, emergency items the chair did not reasonably anticipate. Do we have anything else?
No, sir.
Again, I appreciate you giving us the calendar. We're going to be in Quincy next week.
Busy days.
Um, because we have a public hearing, but we're going to try having a regular meeting there too. And that will be well organized by then. I have no other items.
Motion to
We Take
adjourn.
a motion to adjourn because we're gonna hurry to another meeting.
All right, move adjourn at 2:20.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor of adjournment? All in
Aye.
favor? Aye. We are adjourned.